This is the 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. This is a brand new vehicle for 2024, brand new design, and wouldn't you guess, the wheels are bigger. Looking at the front, you've got this really interesting grille pattern right here, kind of this diamond shape built into it, and then this nice LED strip that runs across the entire width of the car, connecting the two headlamps right here. You also have a lit Lincoln badge right there, and then some interesting contrasting colors from the white to the black grille to this gray down here beneath all that. This is the top of the line black label Nautilus. Looking at the car in profile, you can see that it has grown, but this is smaller than the Aviator. This is a 2-row crossover SUV, not a 3-row, and the shape and the proportions kind of suit that accordingly. These are the largest wheels you can get on the Nautilus, and they are plenty large. These are 22-inch wheels. The base wheel on the Lincoln Nautilus is a 19-inch wheel, already big, but those are not small brake rotors inside there, but they look it compared to this massive, massive wheel. And yes, this is a square setup. The wheels in back are the same size as the ones in front. Looking at the back of the car, follows a pretty typical SUV shape. It is fairly squared off here, and it does match the front, having this one beam run across the entire width of the car, and then some interesting contrasting colors again. One thing that I do quite like is that we don't have any faux exhaust or anything like that. We do have dual tailpipes, and they're real there and there. All right, obviously, as you can tell, I'm not going to get a chance to drive this car just yet, but I am going to look inside, and I'm not going to be alone. I have an Lincoln expert to join me to show me around, because in a lot of ways, the big news is inside. Okay, I am now inside the Nautilus, and as you can see, I'm in the passenger seat, and I am not alone. I am with Monica Gorgas. She is the Nautilus brand manager with this brand new Lincoln, and I have to say, the first thing I notice actually is this weird oval shaped steering wheel right here. I read in the press release that you have a flat top here, but it seems like it has a flat bottom as well, so it's more like an oblong oval shape. And what was the purpose of going with that shaped steering wheel?
Absolutely. So the thought behind the oval-shaped steering wheel, or flat top, I should say, is to keep the driver's eyes up and looking at the road ahead. So making sure that this steering wheel is not impeding the driver's view when they're trying to take in this amazing 48-inch display.
Well, and that's just it. You're talking about being able to see the road, but talk about distractions. Good gravy. That is A-pillar to A-pillar darn near of screen. And there is a small little cut right here. You can see the two separations right here. But then beneath that, this is an already big 11.1-inch touchscreen right here, center console touchscreen. But then I suppose this kind of controls all of this viewing right here. So, goodness. All right, tell me about that. First of all, what was the motivation behind that? And then second, how does it work?
Absolutely. So our customers are always telling us that they want new levels of customization and being able to utilize technology in a meaningful way in their vehicle. And this display delivers on just that. So when we look at how we can, customize the display for each of, our respective clients in the vehicle, you can easily move widgets around to customize the important information to them on the display. And then to your point on, wow, this is a lot when we look from A-pillar to A-pillar. If you prefer a calmer view,
this calm little bevel right here, well, digital bevel.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Is able to, again, look at the screen and just make sure that you have that core driving information available to you while hiding potentially any of those distractions.
And looking like you're driving on Mars. That's really interesting. And so this is a huge, huge screen, digital instrument cluster, of course, then, center console information, and then another hunk of information right here. But then it's also highly customizable, which you can do from down here.
Absolutely.
Does this screen also display information?
Yes.
Or does this just command the rest of this?
Yes, this screen also displays information. So you can see as well that your Apple CarPlay will show up down here, as well as navigation here. Your media also shows up down here. You can control things like connecting different phones via Bluetooth to your vehicle, all to again take advantage of those connectivity options. As far as some other like cool things in the vehicle, check out digital scent in this vehicle, which is new for the Nautilus.
And so you can choose between all 3 scents at once.
Yes.
Yeah, because I read in the press release that there would be 3 scents. I thought you would choose between them. That's really interesting that you can actually mix and match, I suppose, if you want to be daring.
Yes, absolutely. So you do have all 3 scent options in the vehicle that you can choose from. So we'll have 3 scents available at launch: Mystic Forest, Ozonic Azure, and Violet Cashmere. And it's really awesome when you select them on the 11.1-inch center stack touchscreen, you can see the animation come to life, and then you're able to smell the scent diffusing throughout the cabin of the vehicle.
Yeah, hold on. Let me turn on the scent setting in my camera here. Okay, now you guys should be able to smell that as well.
Perfect.
Okay, yeah, no, that is, I'm getting it now for sure. And this is, you know, we're in a busy hall for the auto show here, and the scent is still coming through. That's really fascinating. So how does it spread throughout the cabin?
So the diffusers are right here, located in the center arm console.
Here and here.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then when you turn on the climate control system as well, with the vents that circulate throughout the vehicle, it does help push the scent around the vehicle so that all customers that are riding in the vehicle with their passengers are able to take advantage of the awesome smell that we have.
Okay, very interesting. So I'm curious, just a couple more of the more fundamental things. I see that we have controls here. Is this both heated and cooled seats?
Yes, it is.
And the heated steering wheel as well?
Yes.
And then heated and cooled seats on the passenger side. Do you have any of those options in the rear?
So we do have heated seats in the second row as well.
Okay,
yes.
Very good. And then what is this material we're sitting on? Because, you know, we see a lot of like quilted and nice stitching in the seat. This looks like a real leather seat, of course.
Yes, it is real leather. This is our black label with chalet interior. So think about the design of the interior of this vehicle that we're sitting in comes from like slope side après ski lodge. It's really where we're pulling inspiration from, but it is Venetian leather on the interior of this vehicle.
Interesting. And then a lot of nice materials on the dash as well, and different, you know, earth tones and things like that. And then, you know, your 77,830 speaker sound system. I'm assuming maybe it's 831. I didn't quite count. And then we see a lot of buttons on the steering wheel. This is a really interesting location for the Prindle. So push button Prindles are becoming more and more common. Can you speak at all about why you decided to put it right there?
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as making sure that it was accessible to the customer, you know, when they're sitting in a very relaxed driving position, based on how close, again, their seat is, they are able to easily rest their arm here and change, again, the shift that their vehicle is in. So park, reverse, drive, and make that pretty effortlessly change as they're, you know, sitting in their vehicle.
Very, very good. And then, yeah, push button start is right here. Looks like we have a wireless phone charger right here. Couple of USB ports, couple of cup holders. We saw the Sense right here, but then this also opens for a lot more space.
And speaking of the Sense, actually check out where the cartridges are located right here.
Got it. Okay, so those are our 3 cartridges. We have red, blue, and purple.
Yes.
Or the names you said.
Yes. Exactly.
And then the lower center console storage is relatively deep, and we do have 12-volt port right here and a couple of USB Type-C ports right there. This looks like a generally spacious cabin, and when you stick to 2 rows, you usually get a little bit more wiggle room, if you will, with space. What other features are worth talking about here in the Nautilus?
So I think another feature we're talking about here in the Nautilus is also looking at, speaking of controls, our capacitive touch steering wheel.
That's haptic.
Yes. So looking at, again, like how your fingers move across the steering wheel and the controls show up
Yeah,
on
I saw
the
this
display.
moving around when you were...
Exactly.
Yeah, interesting.
So again, keeping your eyes up and looking at the road ahead, like this vehicle is really equipped with all of the technology to make sure that you feel that you're at ease, safe, and in command of your vehicle while driving. Also, the other option that's really cool to talk about, you can probably see it right here, this driver-facing camera to enable Lincoln Blue Cruise and our hands-free driving feature.
Yeah, no, I've experienced Blue Cruise once before, but this is Blue Cruise 1.2, so it's been updated.
Exactly. So it has in-lane repositioning and lane change assist to help further complement the Blue Cruise that folks who might have already driven a vehicle today with Blue Cruise would know and love.
How would you differentiate your Blue Cruise, Lincoln's Blue Cruise, with Cadillac and GM's Super Cruise?
So as far as how I would differentiate our Blue Cruise versus Super Cruise is just really the overall like functionality of Blue Zone highways and making it easy for the customer to be able to activate in their vehicle. From a brand standpoint and also looking at this vehicle, all of our 24 model year Nautilus will come equipped with Blue Cruise.
So this is not part of Black Label, this is standard.
Exactly.
Interesting, very cool, very cool.
So all of our customers are going to get an opportunity to check out this awesome new advanced driver assistance technology.
Great. Well, there's a lot of really interesting things inside here, and I feel remiss to not at least mention that there are engines up there. You choose between two different turbocharged 2-liter engines. One is a hybrid, one is not. The non-hybrid is 250 horsepower, 275 pound-feet of torque, and has an 8-speed automatic transmission. The hybrid has 310 horsepower, more than 275 pound-feet of torque, but you guys did not specify. The hybrid has a continuous variable transmission. What do you guys expect the take rates to be of the non-hybrid versus the hybrid?
You know, ultimately customer demand will really end up driving what the mix is between our gas engine and our hybrid powertrain, although we're confident that based on what we've seen so far from customer demand, it will likely be about a 50-50 split between gas and hybrid.
Interesting. So you're optimistic that the hybrid take rate will be pretty high. And is there going to be... Is the hybrid going to be tied to the higher end trims and the non-hybrid the lower end, or are both engines available across the board?
Both engines are available across the board, so clients can truly customize their Nautilus to their needs.
And are all new 2024 Nautiluses going to be all-wheel drive?
Yes, all-wheel drive is standard, again, to give our customers confidence on the road.
Yeah, very, very good. Okay, so this car isn't coming out until early 2024, but can you give us prices yet? Is pricing out?
Yes, pricing is available on Lincoln.com. So our Nautilus Premier starts at about $51,000 and ranges up to about $76,000 for Black Label.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I will tell you that you've shown me enough to get me very, very curious to actually want to drive this car, and actually probably also just spend a few minutes in my driveway looking around at all this kind of stuff. Are there any other features of this interior that I should know about that we missed before we wrap up?
The only other item that I would love to show is our ambient lighting and how it wraps throughout the cabin.
Sure.
So when we're looking at the vehicle here and going into settings, so you can see that the ambient lighting is actually integrated into the door applique.
Right in the door here, and it's on both sides. Here it is on my side.
And it's also in the second row as well, which is really cool, taking the full design throughout the entire cabin of the vehicle.
And real quick, there is the second row, and it looks like the seat bottoms are relatively high, and you've got plenty of legroom as well, and you have a decent amount of cargo space back there as well, because again, this is only 2 rows. Sorry, I digress. But you have these different options right here, and it's really easy, just push of a button change. So if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then just a redness right there, and then this is the brightness.
Absolutely.
So you can make it really subtle, basically turn it off to more intense. That's interesting. Now, does this display get affected at all by the ambient lighting?
It does not.
Okay,
Yep,
so those are separate.
Exactly. The ambient lighting is separate, but also helps you set a mood inside the cabin of your vehicle to your choosing.
Interesting. Well, Monica, thank you so much for this much more informed, more detailed look at the brand new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. I am very excited to get a chance to review it when it's available.
Thank you.